Oh gosh, are we really doing this? Are we really reviewing the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Superman action figure? I think we are. So let's just get right into it. The packaging for this guy is exceptional, as usual. Look at all that stuff behind that window. I can't wait to get out of the box. Down there at the bottom, we got a picture of Soups holding onto that kryptonite arrow, looking like he's having a real bad day. On this side of the box, we got a pose of Soups flying. And on the other side, we got him just standing there, looking all buff and ready to pick up a tank. On the back, we have 3 more images of Soups, 1 in flight, 1 in float, and 1 in battle pose. An image of the back of his cape, which I want to add in here, although it pains me to do so. That's the Hush Superman S. And we've also got images of both the heads and the kryptonite arrow. Cracked out of the box, this is everything that we got on the inside. It's not a lot, but honestly, I would have bought this guy with no accessories. Just look at him. He is super fantastic. Pun intended. The red and the blue are perfect. That is the perfect Superman blue. I love the coloring of this figure and the sculpt so much. Mafex killed it with this guy. And the face sculpt is perfection. The paint is darn near perfect. The big Superman swoosh in the front of his hair is absolutely comic accurate and super Boy Scouty heroic as well. And the other head sculpt, well, that's, I don't like seeing Soups in pain. It troubles my soul. But gosh darn does it also look ever good. Man, Mafex has done another fantastic job with both face sculpts. Superman's big buff chest S, sculpted into the body, might I add, and painted pretty well. I mean, that's as good as we're going to get it for a mass-produced figure. Looks awesome. And this Superman's cape, just like with the Hush Superman, the cape actually tucks into the pecs, which are a separate piece that fit on top of the body. Is it perfect? No, it doesn't tuck into his neckline. But compared to all of the other Frank Miller Superman figures I've got, this one is by far the best rendition of the character. I love McFarlane's. It's huge, it's big, and I love the Mattel version. But nothing beats this. This is Frank Miller Superman action figure perfection, if you ask me. And yeah, that cape, there is a lot of cape. Here it is completely unfurled. It's wired, it's posable, and it's fantastic. Yes, as mentioned before, the S on the back of this cape is not accurate. I really wish it was. All of those extra hands that Soups comes with, well, you got open flight hands, you got relaxed hands, you got less relaxed open hands, and you have fists that are used for pretty much grabbing the kryptonite arrow. So now I suppose the next question really is, how articulated is this guy? The head has its own ball joint with a huge range of motion, very satisfying. And the same thing with the neck at the bottom where it connects to the torso. There's 2 pieces of articulation there. You've got a socket inside of each shoulder, and inside that socket, each arm is attached with a ball joint, and you have a rounded hinge in the inside of each armpit. The biceps are a 360 swivel, and the elbows are double jointed. They get about 45 degrees. The hands are attached via a rounded hinge, and they're pretty posable. They do a pretty good job. Without taking this figure apart, it seems to me that the torso is on a ball joint as well, and it gets a great range of motion in all directions, and you have the waist, which is, again, on a ball joint and gets a great range of motion all ways around. While the legs are attached to the body via 2 rounded ball joints that are sitting inside of 2 sockets that the legs are attached to. These are drop hinges too, by the way. Superman's knees are double jointed and calf to the back of the leg, that's what he's gonna get. And his feet are on rounded hinges that are not only pivots, but they also offer a pretty good range of motion all the way around. And finally, his toes have little hinges. He has toe articulation. So, all around, not a terrible, but actually a very good range of motion. Just before we end the video, let's bring in a few comparisons. Here's Soups with Batman and Batman and Batman. All Mafex Batman figures. He scales up quite nicely, looks great with all of them. Here he is next to Armored Bats. They are a perfect scaled match next to one another. Here he is with some of the Mattel versions of these characters. And again, I think he scales up pretty darn good with the rest of these guys. And here he is with the two previous Mafex Superman figures, the Hush version and the Death and Return of Superman figure. So now, the real question at this point is, what do I think about this Superman figure? Honestly, I think that it can take the title very easily for one of the greatest Superman figures ever made. Absolutely. If you've been hemming and hawing about this guy and kind of on the fence about it, honestly, I would say pick this guy up. Don't sleep on it for too long, because this guy is going to sell out faster than pancakes at a maple syrup festival. Anyway, those are my thoughts, views, observations, and opinions about the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Superman action figure. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, that's fantastic. I will see you with the next one. Have a DC day, everybody, and take care.